Fnatic versus OpTic.
Time for preparations.
I can't believe what we're seeing! What just happened?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second series of the day here at ESL 1 Birmingham. Fnatic versus OpTic Gaming. I'm OpTic. I'm going to be joined by Blitz for this one. And with this series, there's so much riding upon it in terms of the road to TI. These two teams, they're going to be bringing their best. We've seen the drafts. Anything that sticks out to you, Will, that you're excited to see and that you think is going to be very strong this game?
I think the aggro duel offlane from Fnatic using the Shadow Demon and the Axe. There's this new strat nowadays where you just load up on regen, get your spamming ability and the Shadow Poison. You just force the enemy carry out as much as you possibly can.
We'll see, OpTic did come across there, but we spotted out the ward already down on this area from Fnatic. Aware of this 5-man movement. Of course, we'll see how they do decide to put them on. Obviously, at the moment, Envy is going to be down bottom with DJ, this Death Prophet, Elder Titan combination, putting Arbed on that Phantom Lancer in the mid lane. And it is indeed, as the panel was wondering, it is, of course, the core Leshrac CCNC playing it, with Zai on the support Clockwork. Take side.
Both sides going to get 2 runes out of this, and we've talked ad nauseum about it. This will determine, most likely, the TI invites, as if OpTic win this, and win the next series, they will have enough points. And Fnatic, conversely, they just need to win this one series. As Pylai die, Rocket.
Ooh, he's not going to make it out. The homing missile connects in time, and that will be first blood. As they'll run down Pike out. He's going to let Zai take it.
He's got nowhere to go.
He has not. Poor old Pie. There we go. Look at the range there on that spanner. As Zai picks up first blood.
And he's now not going to have a TP for that lane either. But he is going to give a little bit of space to Universe.
I'll see if Universe can get the levels under here, but they've got the creep wave carefully kept underneath the tower top. 33 taking a little bit of a punch there from DJ. We'll see, of course, 33. In the past, his visage has looked incredibly strong, incredibly scary. They played it in a few different capacities, sometimes taking it mid, and now to this time round to that bottom aggressive dual lane.
Up at top.
And Universe trapped in the cogs. I've got the homing missile. Pycat as well has got level 2. He's looking for sort of the perfect chance to get the rocket barrage out. Obviously, at the moment there's a lot of creep, so he doesn't want to use it. And now with Pi turning up as well, he has to back away. The poison begins to stack.
This is what we were talking about. He's just going to spam this out. He's got a Mango and 2 Clarities. He does not want Pycat to touch this wave whatsoever.
I mean, how do you sort of play against this? As you said, this is going to be very annoying for OpTic.
Look at that.
Battle Hunger, Shadow Poison, you're kept right away from the creep wave.
He's 3-stack too, so he can't even show up in the lane anymore. This is going to shove the wave, and Universe should be able to just skip the next one too. Zai going to trap this in, try to slow down the creep wave.
This is going to be a very slow start in terms of CS for Pycat. He's going to have to do so underneath the tower, and obviously at the earlier point, pretty hard to do with the low base damage on the gyro, as you can see. Pycat will struggle to get these CS against this Shadow Demon lane that's having quite an effect here early on, despite Pi giving up that first blood.
They're going to farm up some cogs here. Pi popping that Mango, getting ready to continue to harass as we have a quick pause and a tip to go along with it.
You can see there already. Extra 87 gold out of the 5 cogs. Does all add up. Hopefully we can sort this pause out pretty soon. Looks like the players are ready to get back on. But as we're seeing, this top lane is having a huge effect against OpTic. They sort of just have to suck it in and just accept that the early levels up top, it's going to be tricky to deal with.
I think you have to tank it, because nowadays in Dota, you assume that the same thing is being done to the opposite lane. And it is. Okay. Envy's not having the best time in CS. The Visage is already beating him too. This bottom lane is succeeding, maybe not as hard as top is. But OpTic did grab the first blood, so I think they'll be okay with the circumstances so far. But this is what Dota's kind of come to now. You get into these 2-on-2 situations, and the safe lane is no longer really the safe lane.
No, inversely so. In fact, it certainly has ended up being, as we see, a lot of offlaners, of course, getting the chance to get that bit of a boost at the start, thanks to the fact that these dual lanes are the way that Dota is played, once again, at the moment in this current meta. Looking at the mid lane, one of the lanes we haven't really touched upon. I mean, at the moment, between these two, the PL in the Lesh. I mean, the panel sort of talked about picking the PL into the Lesh track. Is it okay? Like, how does sort of this go? This matchup go as the game goes on? Are there certain points that become pretty hard for one or another to play?
So in the beginning of the game, it's incredibly hard for OpTic to play this game, just because his illusions get cleared out so quickly. But as the game continues on, it becomes harder and harder for the Lesh to keep up in damage, especially when the PL gets a heart.
Here we go. It looks like we're getting the game back on. Issues are sorted. Should be able to get ourselves back into this one as the game's unpaused. Getting back up to this top lane. See how Pycat can deal with this.
Universe already leading in CS. A lot of those are the cogs that Zai leaves out for him as Pylai die.
Got the level 2 now on Zai as well, so he can do a bit of harassment with the battery assault. Universe, of course, though, high HP on this strength fax and bottom lane. 33 actually being chased down here by DJ and Envy.
He's low. He's got one more hit left to go.
He's in a lot of trouble, I think, and there we have him. Fnatic will be able to claim the kill. So they run down 33 on the bottom lane.
This is excellent for Fnatic. Getting a kill on that bottom lane. The top lane, we've already talked about how well it's going for them so far. And this mid lane is more or less dead even.
Oh, and here we go. They're going to look for a bit of a setup. The cogs will disrupt the chance for Universe to get the call onto Pycat. So nice little play there from Zai, making sure that Pycat doesn't get caught out by that level 3 axe.
He's got to be more careful about his positioning. Keeps getting burned out by the cogs. Is out of mana, has to pop his last clarity.
Securing very good CS, of course, for Universe. Top CS, in fact, at the moment in this game on his axe. You say cogs, certainly some of those.
Highlight die. Trying to hide in the trees right now. Does not want to get his clarity broken. Zai.
He's looking for it, but as you say, keeping the distance. It's going to come back forward. There we go. Zai will be able to cancel that clarity. And again, another bit of mana burn from the cogs. Really doing his best at limiting what Highlight Die can do up top. Making it just that little bit safer. Mid lane, 19 for 4 on CCNC, 19 for 2 on Arbed. Pretty close between the two of them. Obviously, as you can see, though, CCNC falling very, very low, but at the same time, mana pretty low for Arbed. He's going to look for the top room, but it is to be spawning down bottom. PPD coming across again. He's trying to make the pull on the creeps. Top lane Universe. 2-man call. He drags Zai back again, though. Pylai Die still low on mana, so no real sort of follow-up. Universe as well out. Does still have a manga. But Zai certainly doing a good job of sort of opening up the space once again for the Jara to find his farm.
This is about as good as it gets for Pycat. Zai.
Yeah.
He's just consistently burned their regen out. And mid lane, CCNC gonna go throw out the stun, barely whiffs. Might have been a kill. He is level 5. Probably been enough damage, and see DJ waiting in the wings. That's gonna prompt CCNC to just go for the shrine. I think DJ's aware of this. He's gonna try to meet him here. He even goes for the scan.
Oh. Can he do something cute here? He's gonna try for it, looking for the stomp. He's got the stomp out, but with the Tango regen, CCNC already too much health on him for DJ to deal with at the moment. Just level 2, of course, on the Elder Titan. CCNC will be able to get himself back up to full and return to that middle lane.
Though, grabbing a lot of those bounty runes, and Zai being chased out by Universe, but already out of mana, not really going to do too much else. Continue to have a static laning phase, just a lot of harass going on both sides.
5 minutes in, just 1-for-1 between these two teams. Already making too many huge errors. Nice little dodge there from PPD. Will dodge out the stomp. Could still be in trouble though as Envy gets the first siphon out. DJ and Envy looking towards him. Envy's not interested in chasing this one down. He'll let DJ continue. PPD starting to salve up, but DJ, with that extra bit of movement speed, will be able to cancel it. PPD's still able to walk himself away as he is able to TP out to safety. Lane. Arbed again. Being forced back now that the levels are there on CCNC. It's getting scarier and scarier for him to stand his ground in the 1v1.
This top lane, Pi just trying to clean up some of these creeps as Zai trying to find the angle on him. Misses on the cogs though, and Universe now coming forward.
They can look to turn this round and chase him. Pycat's trying to head over to help out Zai. I've got the batteries on to Pi, the homing missile as well. Pi, I believe he does still have the disruption available.
He can dodge this.
So he should be fine, and indeed he does. Gets the easy dodge. And again, nobody falling despite both teams getting increasingly aggressive.
Just a really long, extended feeling out process right now. Either side not really willing to commit heroes to gank the other lane so far as PPD just going to run into DJ, and it just feels like both teams are mirroring each other constantly.
I'm looking at sort of the CS overall as well. There's no one that's really falling far behind. I think all in all, the impressive thing being that Pycat, despite being pressured on those early levels, because of Zai's play, he's totally recovered now. He's in an absolutely fine place. 33 for 10 on his safe lane gyrocopter. So incredibly even in this early 7 minutes of laning stage. As we can certainly expect to see it sort of the momentum start to swing one way or another once those rotations do start coming out towards the mid lane. Obviously CCNC a little bit easier potentially for Fnatic to get the gank onto rather than the other way around, with Abed being able to doppel out of any sort of difficulties. He has got that escape mechanism. And Envy, there's the rotation. He comes up towards top, but it has been spotted out by OpTic's ward in the lane. So OpTic fully aware that Envy's come up. Let's see what they can get.
Pycat trying to hide in the trees right now. Envy has got the exorcism.
Very close to having the level 6 on Pycat as well, which could be crucial for this sort of team fight hold if Envy does decide to force it with the exorcism.
Envy's going to want to make a move soon, though. He's been up here for quite some time now. Pycat is just being so patient. He's pinging the area. Fnatic want to try to dive with this creep wave. That's why they've glyphed their own creeps.
It's going to be a scan, checking behind the tree line. They do know there's extra heroes here.
They're only showing Zai right now.
They're going to enter in. Envy reveals himself, starts to chase down Zai. Immediately a TP's coming out from CCNC, looking to join the fight.
He has the ult.
He's hit 6, drops the cooldown. Pie's going to be able to dodge it there with the disruption. Universe gets hit by the homing missile. Pycat just focusing down the axe. Universe goes for the call, TP out. He should be able to make it, and he does. Universe gets himself away, and it will just be Envy going down there, thanks to CCNC coming in and being able to have the burst needed. So a very sort of costly play there for Fnatic. They spent a lot of time trying to set up with Envy in place. They end up forcing it just a little too hard, and OpTic, they're there with the reaction, with CCNC coming in and making sure Fnatic don't get anything out of that Death Prophet movement.
Yeah, they were incredibly patient. If you saw OpTic, they just continue to bait back and forth. As I was the only person that showed there, Envy waited up there for over a minute, and they still weren't able to make something happen. And he even commits to the death there. They lost a lot of damage on that bottom tower. OpTic just continuing to play more patiently. And we're coming up on the 10-minute mark too. That's going to be when the next Siege Wagon spawns, and you'd like to see a move from OpTic.
Up top, Universe. It's been gone on again. Zai, he's level 5 on this clockwork. They've got the cogs, they've got the trap, they've got more than enough magical. That'll be Universe going down. Zai and Pycat starting to look very scary between the two of them. These sort of kills going to get Zai closer and closer to his 6 at a very respectable timing. Those levels just going to be there that little bit faster for Zai in comparison to Fnatic supports.
Pycat now having some free farm in this lane. Universe has to walk himself all the way over. Zai making his way towards the mid lane. Looks like they want to try to apply some pressure, and Envy, he's going to anticipate this move. They're going to go for the smoke, and it looks like they're going to go for another aggressive play.
They don't have the ghost up. No exorcism still for 50 seconds.
They can't afford to lose this engagement either. This is a lot of Envy's time.
It's a tricky one to get into as well. Where's just sort of initiation? They have to get Pi with a disruption. He's looking towards CCNC, but CCNC has already grabbed the burning green and he's out. OpTic, they're going to be able to get at least the two of them up here. They get the two bottom, they've got one of them bottom. I think they're going to be, they've got them all.
Yeah, the smoke's broken. They're going to lose a tower up at bot. DJ going to get gone on. Snowball.
And they get away with this. They're going in. DJ will be able to TP out, but look at the difference already. Getting these bounty runes, taking this tower down. It's 3k lead at 10 minutes in a very sort of slow-paced game. That's quite the early lead here for OpTic to have after just these sort of smart outplays, making just those slightly better movements here on the map in comparison to Fnatic.
Yeah, and I'd like to see OpTic right now swarm to the mid lane with this catapult. Bring your Visage over as well. Try to punish this top play. You know that Envy brought himself up here. He can't really TP out either. 15 seconds left on that. Does have the ghost. But they're going to glyph, try to keep this Siege Wagon alive.
See if they can go for Abed here. Abed is level 9. Snowball's in on him, but he's got the doppel. Up to the high ground. He didn't make it. Try and go, but it's still fortunate for him. They will not be chased down. Up top, Zai finding Pilot Eye out on his own. CCNC is there as well. As OpTic get another mid lane, the tower will fall. 33 gets the last hit, so they'll get the money for it.
They didn't even manage to save their mid tower or take the top tower. They're just getting outmaneuvered so hard right now, Fnatic.
OpTic's just getting so much out of the map.
It's so rare to see that. You're able to defend your tower.
Look how low the Universe has got himself here. He's got to be careful. He's going to put the Battle Hunger, but Zai's already closed the gap with the batteries. So that's going to be Universe fall. It's falling apart for Fnatic. 5-1, 5k lead at 11 minutes in.
It just feels like they're making a lot of desperate plays right now. You can sense it. Envy's trying to rotate wherever he can, but they're not even able to grab any sort of towers for themselves in return.
Yeah, those failed rotations from Envy have just really slowed down the pace that Fnatic wanted to play. As now, he's got to find himself some sort of place on the map, but the levels ain't great for him. He's level 7 at the moment. It's the same as Zai on his clockwork on the other side. And CCNC, of course, walking around the map on his Leshrac, looking incredibly scary. There's got a lot of burst, a lot of kill potential. The magical damage that OpTic Gaming have at this stage of the game is really quite something. And the pushing power is good as well with this Visage.
They're going to grab that last bounty rune. And with the mid tower and the bottom tower being taken, OpTic, they're free to play wherever they want. They don't even care about this top tower, really. Pycat's still up here, but I think relinquishing it is perfectly fine as long as they can grab a tier 2 tower in return, and that's exactly what they're going for here. As 33 already beating on this tier 2, and Fnatic once again, they're just too late to anything.
They're not coming down it. They're letting this tier 2 go. 12 minutes in, it's just objective after objective that OpTic Gaming are taking.
Look at this deep ward too. They see the movement from Envy the entire time through. And they're going to make the obvious play to try to go for this top tier 1 tower, but they're so afraid. They've taken so long that they're not sure if OpTic is defending it, and you see the hesitation right now. Fnatic not even willing to go for that gimme tower. OpTic.
We'll see if they can do something big with what Universe is preparing. I mean, he's rather than going for sort of the Vanguard into Blink that we do more commonly see, he's just got the straight up Blink. So he's still pretty susceptible to dying, but at least they have sort of that jump initiation that could catch OpTic off guard.
This tier 2 tower, mid being pressured so heavily right now. OpTic, all the map control in the world. And Fnatic, once again, they don't even grab that top tower. This is going to be a trade for nothing.
They're losing so much. All of these towers are just going. And they still are yet to claim a tier 1 themselves. They will at least get the deny mid, but still this is just so much of the map that OpTic are taking control of, and incredibly early as well.
It just makes it harder and harder for them to play this game because they can't get as deep of wards out. You notice the vision game alone is so staggering right now from OpTic. They see everywhere that Envy, whenever he tries to make a rotation with those ghosts,
every movement,
they spot all of it, whereas their own wards are almost entirely just defensive. And this tier 1 tower top is the last thing that they get to defend. Not everyone from OpTic has shown up. Zai gonna get run into. Universe with the blink call.
And have they got the damage? The Stomp coming through, they'll take down Zai. Fnatic able to get a kill out of this. See if they can chase down for more. The majority of the team there was smoked up, so catching Zai off guard was relying on the fact that they had that deep ward vision, but I believe the smoke was done from the base, so did manage to get that jump. Still, it is just a support. It's little for Fnatic, it's something, but it's still not going to solve the fact that they are 7k behind, and OpTic are really ruling the map at the moment.
The worst part about this, Owen, is you feel really terrible transitioning this into nothing. You grab a kill, you don't grab the tower thereafter, you're still being spotted by the wards. OpTic is just going to make the same rotation. Zai is alive now. They're just going to go for the tower anyways, and it just nullifies that kill entirely as Pi gets eye sharded. Fnatic want to take this fight. Universe stepping forward right now.
He's looking for a call, but at the same time on the side already, the cooldown, slowing down Envy. Envy will find that bounty ring.
And they're pinging at bottom. They want to try to make a play onto CCNC. He pops the haste rune.
They're coming in from the shrine as well. Universe coming in from behind. He's going to look for the catch. CCNC
doesn't have a TP for 1 second. It's still in his stash. Universe gets the call.
Are they going to be able to get the rest of the team in range in time? Arped's there. They're going to be able to find this one. So they do get CCNC. And that's something at least there for Fnatic. They are starting to find these kills, but at the same time, top straight in onto Pylai. He'll go for the self-disruption, but 33 holding on with the stuns on the burst. Doesn't even need them there as they punch down Pi after the disruption.
Very big kill for Fnatic, but it took the entire team rotating. And with this ward vision right here, they're going to spot them on the way back. This will allow them to hit the tier 2 tower for free. They see the mid wave. They just continue to get spotted.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And with the double catapult,
Radiant just fortified their structures.
I mean, I think the hope really for Fnatic is it's what Arbed can do once he gets his defusal. At that point, there's going to be a significant damage spike for Fnatic. But at the same time, as the panel talked about, there's methods that OpTic have to deal with the PL. They've got this CCNC Leshrac that's doing very well for himself.
Top tower, another 2Q.
At least their Universe, but indeed still, this is all tier 2s taken 16 minutes into the game, and Fnatic are still yet to take a tier 1 tower. And they're the team that have the death profit.
Yeah, and I just want to highlight the best part about all of this. Hold that thought. Gyrocopters.
See if they can bring him down. They're opening up straight away onto PyCat. They're coming in full force, and they should be able to take him, and they do, but Envy will fall for it. It's a 1-for-1. Can they get anything more? Universe trying to chase. A 33 with the birds, just keeping Universe forced back. Fnatic, they just can't quite get past the Familiars to catch anything more out of it.
And CCNC just automatically goes bottom once again. What he's trying to do here is force somebody from Fnatic back, and they'll just immediately go into the Roshan pit. And that's why Fnatic right now, they're loath to go bottom. Even with the creep wave coming in, they need to protect this Roshan area. There's an early medallion on this Visage.
I see a hook shot there from Zai. Finds DJ in. He goes with the battery assault. Oh,
might have just plucked him out.
I did. The shard sort of messed that up there. Bit of
Universe
misplay between the two of them. Now the chase is there in response. They've got the demonic purge onto Zai, and Zai's going to pay for that one. And PPD, oh, he snowballed in there. Does snowball himself across.
OpTic, he wants to chase for this right now. PPD out of mana.
He's got the diffusal blade as well. And he is going to have that slow back up in a couple of seconds. Spirit Lance is out. He's diving in onto PPD. Is anyone going to be coming over? There's a TP, but it's not coming in there in time. Universe in with the duck. Getting a second. They are getting these kills, Fnatic. They've got to do a lot more, but there is the potential. Abed, we've seen him do it before on many a hero. He is on the PL. This is a hero that can just sort of carry an entire game on its back. And he is heading up there, second on the net worth. The diffusal blade was still there in good time. Once he has the hood, he's going to be feeling a little more confident fighting up against the Leshrac. A lot of the hopes of Fnatic resting on Abed.
I think it got spotted. Envy should know about this. He's immediately backing all the way to his base, making the safe play. And even though his net worth is incredibly diminished, this is still a DP. All you really need is a Yules.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he has queued up. Not too far away from that as OpTic with a really deep smoke. Everyone from Fnatic right now just huddled in their base. Heading towards top right now as Pylai Die making his traditional rotation where...
Look at that. Look at that stat though. The first game since TI5 that a team has taken 6 towers by the 16-minute mark.
Zai gonna run into Pylai Die here, who goes for the TP in.
See if Zai can get himself out. He's gonna get slowed by the ultimate. Pylai Die with the demonic purge. Buying time DJ coming, but there's the hook shot out. Zai over to the Familiars there. There's 33 provides him the backup to get himself out. At the same time, Arbed will be able to chase down PPD. So another kill for the Phantom Lancer. And as I said, honestly, I feel like we've seen this before. Arbed, he can carry games despite the fact that the start has been a bit of a disaster really for his team. And as we saw there in terms of map control and looking after the towers, a massive disaster for Fnatic. But Arbed, you gotta watch this kid. He can do something crazy.
Yeah, the one crazy upside of losing all your towers like this.
Look at this.
He's been everywhere.
He has. The movements here of Arbed, we saw obviously the time he spent up top. We can sort of expect to see that heat map just continue to grow. As you can see as well from this, obviously he's been unable to really invade the half of the map of OpTic. All of the gameplay has really been happening on Fnatic's side.
We're getting an opposite game of Pain versus VP, where both teams being very methodical. Not a lot of fights, but OpTic have postured heavily on this map. And the good news about losing your towers is when the creep wave comes in, you always have somebody that can farm it pretty safely. Zai gonna grab the DD, snatch it out of Abed's hands. And that's why you see Abed, briefly anyways, was at the top of the net worth chart, despite him not having more than one tower. And it's because they're giving him everything. Whenever creep wave comes forward, he's the one that's the direct beneficiary of it. Envy, meanwhile, is just left to kind of meander to his own devices, trying to farm out whatever neutral camps he gets.
Universe, how's he doing on his Crimson Guard? He's getting pretty close to it. That's obviously going to help the team out a huge amount against the Gyrocopter. And to be fair, if he's able to get that Crimson and Pipe before OpTic is sort of able to push up into the high ground, that is a lot of sort of damage mitigated that OpTic are going to be offering at this stage if they keep this pressure going. And OpTic themselves, BKB done on PyCat, they are very well prepared to run straight into Fnatic's lineup if they do find them out on the map. And Zai, he's already hunting. DJ just TP's out in time in the Fog of War. They've got the scan there, they know Universe is out. Won't quite be able to get there in time.
Yeah, they're spotted by all this vision right now, and they know that PPD's down here. He's going to try to go for the TP, Abed.
No way to cancel this, so PPD, he's out of there. PPD, actually, I saw that he was saving up a lot of money, so after the brown boots, picking up a straight-up Blink Dagger on the Tusk.
Both teams benefiting heavily from their ward vision. Seeing the moves being made, OpTic continue to posture around this Roshan pit. You've taken all these tier 2 towers early, but haven't gone for the bigger objectives. And going high ground is still scary as Pi, gonna get spotted out by the Birds.
Birds indeed starting to beat down upon Pi. They've got the slow from the Lightning. Pi will disrupt himself, but he's only setting it up for the stun from CCNC. Highlight Eye caught out alone. Rest of Fnatic will be able to get themselves back to base with the time.
Looks like they're drawing the line around and in OpTic. There's no way they go for the high ground before going for Roshan.
Yeah. And in terms of fighting around the Rosh pit, obviously there's still things that OpTic do have to be aware of. Potential Axe Blink, the ultimate combo from the Elder Titan, and Fnatic, they are going to head over with this smoke.
You see Zai, he's positioned very aggressively right here. He wants to try to break these smokes. Gonna run into the high ground here. Universe whiffs.
It's gonna miss. They have got the ghost out, and Zai, he'll melt pretty damn quickly. Can they get anything more out of this? No, because Pycat is heading over. They've got the cooldown. Envy will use himself up into the air, but he's already incredibly low. The punch up from PPD, that's Envy gone. Universe to fall as well. They've lost 2. Abed, he's got the doppelganger up to the high ground. He'll go. Shards will slow him down a little bit, allowing 33 to get the slow off himself.
Grave Shield.
He's trying to rush himself away, turns towards CCNC, will be able to bring down the Leshrac. The stun coming through from the Elder Titan, but it's not enough to allow him the safety to get out of there. As OpTic Gaming take 3, secure the area around the pit, and can return to Roshan.
CCNC already up from the Bloodstone charges. They're just going to walk back in, do the same thing. Zai with those 4-man cogs on top of the hill, set up everything as DJ going to get gone on by this Tusk.
And PPD just making sure that DJ can't get anywhere near the pit, and there we have it. OpTic Gaming just continuing to hold on to this strong advantage they have. Aegis in hand. 11-9, 23 minutes in, a pretty low kill game, but a very methodical one, as we've been saying, from OpTic Gaming. 7K lead. I mean, is there any sort of rush for OpTic as well? Do they need to try and force a high ground push anytime soon, or can they just afford to just sit back, control the map, and farm up the next couple of items?
I think they can just be pretty calm about this.
Yeah.
Because they are still killing the cores in these fights. If they hadn't killed Abed in that fight, and maybe if he gets away with 2 kills, I would speak differently, but they're still managing to shut down Abed for the most part. And Envy has just not been able to get anything. And you can't really blame him too much because they're giving Abed all the space on the map. Because the PL is the one that's going to win you the game, not the DP at this point.
Mid lane DJ, he's headed out. CCNC, he has got the combo. Zai there as well, throwing down the urn. They've got the damage. Another pick off for OpTic.
That might just prompt the high grounds.
There's no out of time for 40 seconds. See what OpTic want to do with this time. Again, it looks like just focusing on making sure that all lanes are in a good position. Fnatic, they've got Universe, we're shoving out the top lane. Just these little things to sort of slow the game down, make sure that the pace is there for Abed to continue to farm up on the PL. So we can sort of become this carry that Fnatic can present in the fights, that can have a chance against the cause. But indeed, he's out. He's alone, Zai. He's found him in the cogs. PPD's heading over as well. He'll use himself up by some time, but PPD comes in. He's got the snowball. He's holding on to it to allow time for the rest of OpTic to come in and finish off Envy. But as you say, I mean, this is Fnatic. They're just sort of throwing bodies everywhere to just distract OpTic away from Abed.
Yeah, this is buy Abed as much space as possible. Hope that the PL can be in a position right now. The 1v5. He just needs more time. That's what they need. But OpTic, with the Aegis, they've got the Aghanim Scepter on the Visage. They're not really waiting for any more items. They can find another pickoff. That might prompt the high ground.
See what they can find it. Pike, maybe the one to tank it as PPD. He's got the vision, closes the gap with the snowball, and another day in the office here for OpTic Gaming as they'll pick off another support. Pike, no escaping from this one. As again, just more murder and blood favoring OpTic. 90 for 4. They're still holding on to this lead. See Fnatic at the moment just grouped up on the high ground, feeling very, very scared about leaving the base at this stage.
And with all 3 lanes in a very good position, the Birds handling top, OpTic trying to spread Fnatic as thin as possible, keep them holed up in their base. A whole lot of options for them right now.
Only one buyback available as well on Fnatic. If they do end up finding themselves in an unfavorable fight, there'll definitely be the time and opportunity for OpTic to push on for more. Abed is coming out. CCNC, got the timing here with the stun. Yes, he has. And already Zai going on the back line. Making sure the Pine DJ can't get there in time to offer Arbed the help. The shards blocking Arbed out. He's trying to get himself around, but there's the punch into the homing missile. That's Arbed gone. Pycat just rolling forward with the BKB, ripping through two of them, turning towards Envy, taking him down as well. They haven't got any buybacks. OpTic, they're onto the high ground. They're taking tier 3 towers. I mean, this game, it never really started for Fnatic.
This was incredibly one-sided.
Fnatic were just unable to do anything.
They made so many failed play attempts. They traded pretty much nothing ever. They weren't able to get any towers, even when OpTic were showing multiple heroes across the map. They never really went for objectives. They were so afraid at some point. OpTic had so much better vision.
I don't know what happened this game. Well, this is, I mean, Fnatic, they've looked pretty damn good in sort of the group stages and the previous performance, but this game, it just looks like OpTic are on an entirely different level.
Universe gonna get force-staffed out. Just trying to kill the birds. Get whatever you can.
2 sets of racks, 27 minutes in.
Yeah, and that stat was unbelievable. Fastest.
The towers, yeah.
Yeah.
Since TI5. Well, he's CNC. He's got the Aegis. The last 30 seconds of it, so he does not mind if he goes down. Universe will jump in, get the call. They'll take the Aegis out of CCNC's hands, but as I say, it really doesn't matter at this stage. The ult comes out from TJ, but it's just not enough damage. Zai chasing down Universe to fall. He's going to buy back, but they've lost TJ, they've lost Pilot Eye, neither with buyback available. Zai hook shots across. Arbed, he'll try and doppelganger himself away, but there's 3 dead. He's actually going to DC from the game. He's out. GG is called. Game 1. I mean, I don't think OpTic could believe it themselves, probably. That must have got so damn smooth for OpTic Gaming.
Yeah,
they just...
Look at the faces right now from Fnatic. They just look stunned. They have no idea what happened.
What happened?
That was genuinely that was so one-sided for a semifinal game. They weren't able to get anything going. You saw Envy consistently trying to make those rotations.
Nothing happened.
It got blocked every single time.
I mean, that... Here in the semi-finals, Fnatic, they've got a lot of talking to do between game 1 and game 2. I mean, for you, looking at that game, what do you think the biggest issue was for Fnatic? Was it their draft? Was it just sort of the early misplays? Was it understandable that those sort of early failed rotations would punish them as bad as this was? Or do you think there was a chance for them to still come back this game?
I think there might have been chances, but it felt like they were just lethargic. They were afraid to make any moves. Even when they were losing their tier 1 tower mid, they weren't even willing to really go for that tier 1 tower up at top. They weren't willing to make any